not an area where this sort of nonsense should be happening. We can't close our eyes and watch them turn the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to another Kaduna-Abuja highway. They've got to do something, and we will not leave them alone. These governors should know that we won't leave them alone until we can see that there is progress, and the animals who are staying in the bush, harassing innocent people, are dealt with decisively.
All right, Paul Dada, like BKO said, more terrifying, these guys appear in military uniform. What is the implication of this?
Well, it's not new. They've been doing that also in the Northwest. They wear fatigues and all of that. For me, you know, we said it earlier that you know, it was happening close to us. It happened in Kogi. It was getting closer to Lagos. It happened in Ondo. It was getting closer to Lagos. It's happening in Oyo. It was getting closer to Lagos. And now it's become much closer. And we need to do something about it. You know, what I'm even worried about now is this, that it can even get closer still because of the construction going on that expressway. Around Mowe to close to Berga now, you have what? You can be in traffic for 3 hours, 4 hours. I experienced it. I thought I was coming very, very early. I was coming to Lagos from outside Lagos very early, and I was stuck in traffic. You could be stuck in traffic by 2 a.m. Now, what we need to do is to put security there. There's no security, nobody to secure you. Area boys are milling around, even around that time. Nobody, if, for example, you are driving around 2 a.m., you want to get out of your car to ease yourself or something, you are a sitting duck. So everybody who travels on that road and is stuck in traffic is a sitting duck. So anything can happen at any time. And this was the way people were crying. That look, this banditry had started. And then we're looking until it got out of hand. Now it started to happen around us. If we don't do something decisively and very fast, it could become a problem that will be very difficult to handle. God forbid that kidnapping now becomes the order of the day. You know, God forbid that we now start having school children being kidnapped around us here. Already, we are dealing with the ones in the Northwest and other places. But why do we want to add pain to pain? Look at how long it has taken us to start dealing with those around the Northwest, North Central. We have not even been able to finish the battle. So why don't we just do something now to prevent this thing from deteriorating? Otherwise, we are going to have fire that will be very, very difficult to put out.
All right, Bikeri. Yeah. All right, let's quickly take Otene from Akwa Ibom. Good evening.
Hello?
Good evening to you. Please go ahead.
Good evening. Yes, I am Etienne and I'm calling from Akwa Ibom. I have a little thing to say. What I want to say right now is that history has it some time ago. I think either in the late 70s or early 80s. It was the Nigerian youth, the Nigerian students that stood up to speak. And at a certain point, the then Minister of Education was removed from office. Now, I'm speaking with regards to the ASU case. It is time for the Nigerian students to rise up and speak. Because the way I see this thing, it is only the Nigerian students that can call government to order. And I see this opportunity to call on the Nigerian students to rise up and call federal government to be responsible.
Thank you very much,
to take the destiny.
Thank you for your contribution. All right, opinion continues to be divided over the actual price which petrol should be sold in Nigeria. The Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC, Melekari, said the only reason Nigerians still buy petrol at 169 naira per litre is because of subsidy paid by the federal government on the commodity. Speaking at a function in Abuja, Kari said it is not possible for Nigerians to buy fuel at 169 naira per litre when the actual cost is twice that amount. He insisted that petrol will cost 400 naira per litre without subsidy. Nikhil. Will it make any difference?
Wow.
Nigerians are already struggling.
There's a big difference between 169 naira and 400 naira, or 410, which is actually the current landing cost, that is minus subsidy. If subsidy is taken out of the equation, we will be buying petrol at 410 naira per liter. But again, that depends on the prevailing global pricing of the product. Some time ago, before Putin launched his senseless war in Ukraine, it was way cheaper, and it felt like subsidy, the quantum of subsidy was not as significant as we now have it. The higher the price in the global market, the higher the subsidy that you will pay. Remember when we slipped into recession, one of the big reasons for which we slipped into recession was the fact that oil prices crashed, came down to, I think, about, at a point it was even like $27 per barrel. Now, consider the fact that these days it's hovering around even $100 per barrel. So there's a big difference. If the prevailing global prices, if it comes down significantly, we won't have to pay 410 naira per liter. But this 400 naira per liter that Mele Kyari was talking about is based on the current crude oil prices. And you know, crude oil, if crude oil is 100 naira per liter, $100 per barrel, by the time it is refined, the cost will go higher, because it is in that crude form that it is even sold at that price. So by the time it's refined, the cost will go up, and then when you add freighting cost and all that, the cost of bringing it, since our refineries are literally moribund, we have to bring the product in from other parts of the world. By the time you add all of those costs, it naturally drives up the price. If we would, if we are able to stop importation of these products, definitely the price will come down. Definitely. And that's why I'm not happy that in 7 years the government didn't come up with any concrete plan to build refineries of its own. You see some states in America having more than 20 refineries, just one state. Big refineries, not all those small refineries, big refineries, you know. I think in India we have a refinery with a capacity to do more than 800,000 barrels a day. 800,000, which is bigger than some. I've heard people talk about Dangote Refinery as the biggest. I don't know where they got those facts from. You know, in India, there's a refinery doing 800,000. So what really was the problem? That even if we had to do a sort of partnership, get into a partnership with a foreign company to build, operate and transfer for us, why couldn't we build a refinery? Angola in the last few years managed to add to their refinery count through this same build, operate and transfer module. So why couldn't we do it? Because that's why we are suffering.
All right, Paul Dada, before I have you react to that, let's go for this commercial break. I'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Muhammad, welcomes the United Nations World Tourism Organization Secretary General and Ministers of Tourism, Culture and Arts from the UNWTO member states to the first UNWTO Global Conference on linking tourism, culture, and the creative industries. Date from 14th to 16th November 2022. Venue, National Theatre, Igomu, Lagos. Workshops and technical sessions starts on 14th November. Opening ceremony, 15th November. Time, 10 a.m. A Day with Nollywood, 16th November. Time, 10 a.m. Special guest, UNWTO Secretary General, Mr. Zurab Pololikashvili. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mrs. Lydia Shehu Jafia, MNI, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Announcer.
Good afternoon, sir. Please, I need a room to rent in your house.
Okay, where do you work?
I'm a nurse.
That means you won't owe me rent. Congratulations, young lady. You have yourself a house.
Well, thank you so much, sir. So, how much is the rent?
90,000 naira. Oh, but wait, where are you from?
I am from Akamata.
Akamata what? Akamata in my house? If you know how you got into my house, please get out right away. My spirit and that of Akamata people don't have anything to do together.
Sir, what have I done?
Your people from Akamata are known for bad things. That is what they represent, and you can't live in my house. Just get out right away.
What's going on?
Leave my house, young lady. Yes, our differences extend to our languages, culture, food, and even belief. But we are bound together by the cord of love. With one heart, with one voice, we will make Nigeria a hub of greatness, a place where the people live as one.
This message is brought to you from the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. So, Paul Dada, oil marketers and experts will not stop arguing that petrol subsidy is wasteful and unsustainable.
Honestly, a time has to come that subsidy must give way. It is not something that is sustainable. It's not sustainable. You know, the way it is like, if you don't subsidize, it is trouble. If you subsidize, it is also trouble. But Nigeria cannot continue this way. We are waiting, Nigeria is waiting for Dangote Refinery. You know, the GCO once said that, okay, with Dangote, the Dangote Refinery, you know, producing 650,000 barrels per day, that's about, I think, 15 million liters daily. Then plus the 4 refineries we have, if they are turned around, according to him, those ones will give us a combined production of 18 million liters, you know. But the issue is that I don't know why I'm not inspired. Even though it's been said that by mid next year, Dangote will start operating. You know why I'm not inspired? I'm not inspired by what Kyari has said, especially with regard to the refineries we have. Because I know that many times funds have been devoted to what they call turnaround maintenance that did not yield any turnaround. That's the issue. That's the problem here. Many times we've heard of TAM, but there has been no turnaround. That's the truth. For a long, it looks like, I don't know why we are so much blessed with oil in this country. Why a blessing has become a curse. Oil is big business in Nigeria for exports and even for local consumption. How come governments, successive governments, have not been able to make the refineries work? How come is it that we have been paying refinery workers who are doing nothing? I mean, it's in this country you pay people for doing nothing.
And they are among the highest paid.
I don't understand it. If you can't run these refineries, why don't you give it to people who can do it on BOT basis? And let's have the country running. Look, whether we like it or not, subsidy will go. Otherwise, you are calling for a serious economy, an implosion. Subsidy will have to go. But then if subsidy goes and people are buying PMS at 410 or 400, you are looking for crisis. So the best thing is to stop importation. Just imagine how much we are going to save, how much the country will save when we don't have to subsidize fuel imports. So I think we need to be very serious with getting refineries working locally. That's the way out. Otherwise, we continue to tell the same story.
All right, Bikio, there is no date yet for stoppage of subsidy payments, but then retaining petrol subsidy in 2023 will cost Nigeria nearly 6.7 trillion naira. Can our economy absorb this?
Given what we are going through, given how much we are spending servicing the debts that will continue to pile up, we will be in trouble if we continue. The big problem is we don't even know how much we consume, because there is no metrics that the NNPC has come up with, verifiable, empirical in nature, to show that this is how much Nigerians are consuming every day. And you see that more and more people have come out to say we don't believe these figures. If someone like even the Minister of Petroleum Resources could say, could question even the figures, if the number 3 person in the country, Senate President, could say that with cameras in front of him, it shows that, look, something is wrong. It's probably, we've been paying subsidy for years, but at no time did it become such a big problem like today. Throughout the Jonathan years and all that, we were paying subsidy, and we made so much noise about subsidy at that time. But the subsidy bill at that time was not even up to half a trillion a year. That's even putting it conservatively. Now we are in a situation in which we are talking about 6.5 trillion going to subsidy. In my view, the consumption level, according to the NNPC, has so quadrupled that it then means that the subsidy bill has inexorably become much higher than previous years. I still think that even the metrics that they use to arrive at that figure has to be questioned. It has to be subjected to serious scrutiny. Maybe when a new government comes and is subjected to serious scrutiny, and we arrive at the real or something closest to the realest figure, maybe it can be managed up to a point. Because look, what was the subsidy bill for Jonathan when he was there? Let us check it and see what we are paying now. The difference is like night and day. So the difference is just so wide. That's why a lot of people find it unbelievable. Sanusi the other day, the former CBN governor, was also complaining because he brought the consumption level of Pakistan and that of Nigeria, put them side by side. It's just, our own is just, it's not what you tell even a 5-year-old boy, and you convince him that this is real.
There is too much corruption in our system, and that is why that's why we have all these doubts. Even during this Jonathan's time we're talking about, we still remember that there were people that were just fake fuel.
No, a lot of them did not bring in any product.
That's what I'm saying now.
Or some brought in products, diverted it to Benin Republic,
and they were being prosecuted.
And they collected subsidy payments, but they sold what they brought in at the port in Benin.
It was during that
protest.
This is
what we do to our country.
The Occupy Lagos protest that this
but the thing is, even as historians, get the subsidy bill of that era. How much was it? I'm telling you, certainly not.
No, I agree
not
with
even
you.
Up to 400 billion.
I am saying that if there was corruption at that time, there has to be now. That's what I'm actually trying to drive at. That even during the Jonathan, it was kind of a lot of people were were just lying.
Of course, there was, yes.
That they were just
true.
lying. If it happened then, it means we have to also scrutinize what is going on. So I'm actually backing up what you said.
All right, let's take Benga from Abuja. Hello, Benga.
Good evening to you. Good evening to everyone there. Quick one on the issue of kidnapping along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. I believe the involvement of locals are involved, natives are involved, because Chapa Day to Ibadan boundary, there's nowhere that can be cultivated. There's no jungle there that you can't say nobody have entered before. It means that there's a connive between the locals and some people living around there, maybe some foreigners, like, that's what they call them. But what I'm saying that they should involve the Bale, all the people in the locality area, the villages, to be involved in it, to fish out those people around there.
Thank you very much.
And for the food oil,
thank you for your contribution. Gentlemen, let's get to the final lap of the program. As the crisis between the River State Governor, Nyesom Wike, and the People's Democratic Party, PDP, festers, it continues to take more twists and angles. Governor Wike and his 4 other colleagues, now known as G5, had a meeting with their counterpart in Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, and another twist to the tale. Governor Wike said he and his allies are open to reconciliation with the PDP leadership. Meanwhile, the party leaders have concluded arrangements to meet with former President Goodluck Jonathan with the aim of urging him to wade in and find a lasting solution to the crisis.
Stated severally that we are here for reconciliation. We have never closed the door for reconciliation. All we are saying for equity, fairness, and justice. That's not, in fact, that is the hallmark of what PDP stands for equity, fairness, and what? Justice. We have never closed door, and we will not close door. All we are saying, look, let the right thing be done. If the right thing is done, you will see how the whole place will be, the whole country will know that the election is over. This is the bedrock of the party. This G5 you are seeing, we are the bedrock of the party.
As for the G5 governors, I always joke with them that I'm a G1, but I'm inexorably connected with them. We have always been together, and you know it. Governor Wike, Governor Otom, Governor Petrol, and of course Ogwanyi, they have been here several times, and I have gone to them several times. And I think this is some of the takeaways I have as a governor, having friends for life. So I'm everywhere, but of course it doesn't mean that I'm nowhere.
All right, gentlemen. Governor Wike said there is still room for reconciliation, but still goes ahead to, in a way, malign other stakeholders of the party. How contradictory does this appear?
Well, I think there is room for, there is only one room for reconciliation. If IU
steps down,
decides to step aside. I think that if IU leaves, any other person that they put there, Wike will feel sufficiently placated. It is the main reason called Tambua the hero of the convention. That means that you were happy that a particular person lost. As a party chairman, even if you are happy, you have to mask that happiness. For a situation in which you can't control your emotions and you showed your joy at the loss of somebody who had consistently financed the party, then you're asking for trouble. Now trouble has been brought to your door. Whether we like it or not, apart from the incursions that the Obi's Labour Party has made into the traditional hunting grounds of the PDP, nothing has threatened Atiku's capacity to win the presidential election more than the activities of these governors.
Yeah.
And the prospect of adding one more person
It's there.
to the mix is there. If they eventually add Bala to the mix, then Atiku is in trouble. It's just This is just the reality. I know that in politics, we see signs of extreme optimism and all that. People don't want to hear certain truths told. If you tell them, you are going to win with an audacious margin, you are going to defeat them, you will double the margin. Politicians like to hear that. So they will never like some of us who will tell them the truth. But the national chairman caused this whole thing. And then, by also promising to quit if someone from the north wins, I think he committed himself too early. Now to go, he refuses to go. So the only ground for reconciliation is if he steps out. He steps aside. I think at that point, Wike and his people will then say, yes, at least what we asked for, they've given us. But this looks most unlikely that Ayu will stand. In fact, his confidence appears greater now because he was boasting the other day that he cannot be removed. And I think both camps have stiffened their positions. And what we are going to see is PDP biting PDP during the election, PDP working against PDP.
All right, so Paul Dada, going by BK's analysis, what will addition of another governor to the G5 signal for Atiku and the PDP?
Doom. That is a doom. You see, I heard one of the spokespersons for the Atiku campaign, play down the effect, what might be the negative impact of the disenchantment of these G5 governors. But I think this is not the time for them to be grandstanding. It's not going to help them. Already, these 5, their disenchantment, it's already a danger, a looming danger to the chances of Atiku. And I'll tell you why. In 2019, Atiku, it was a 2-horse race between Atiku and Buhari. But there are people who still think, I don't think I agree with them. There are people who still think that Atiku won that election and it was manipulated. I'm not saying I share it, but there are people that hold that. Because Atiku was a formidable force then. But now, he is contesting from a weakened position. He has 2 major contenders to deal with. He has the APC candidate to deal with. He has the Labour Party candidate to deal with. At least, there are 3 frontliners. Or maybe 4 if you had Kwankwaso to him. Now, you have external forces to deal with. And then you also have internal forces to deal with. And the forces seem to be getting stronger. So, I don't know. Maybe it is time truly for Mr. Dr. Yoshihayu to step down, to think about the collective interest of the party. If the party truly wants to win the election, if the party... I'm saying it here that if this thing is not resolved, PDP is going nowhere in the election. It's not because I hate PDP, but it's the reality.
All right. BK, how easy will it be for former President Goodluck Jonathan to settle this rift?
No, I think that, when you find yourself in this kind of situation, you start thinking, have all kinds of ideas. Who do we reach out to? Goodluck Jonathan was rumored to be on the way to the APC the other day, but in the end, he didn't defect. And I think that even for his own image, it was good that he decided to stay where he was. As a former president, people will respect you a lot more when you adopt the statesman-like approach, whereby you are just concerned about things Nigeria, the progress of the country. You become less and less partisan, but focused on the growth and development of your country. So I think that Goodluck Jonathan not throwing his hat in the ring and contesting the primary election was a good decision for him because he would have lost. He would have been well defeated. He had no structures. Coming into a new party where others had been hunting for supporters and all that, he would have been well defeated. So he took the right decision to not be misled by those who are pushing that he should go and join APC at that time. Now, the extent of his commitment to even PDP, you can't, it's difficult to say, because even his wife, you can't say that his wife is fully committed to PDP at this time. So much water has passed under the bridge. Jonathan, at this time, in my view, cannot help this situation. Yes, Wike was Jonathan's junior minister for education, and later on he handled that ministry. It was Jonathan that ensured that he became the governorship candidate of the party in Rivers State. But whether Jonathan can talk to Wike to sheath his sword and convince others to work with Atiku, I have my doubts. And I'm not convinced that even the relationship between Goodluck Jonathan and Atiku back then was rosy. There were some comments that Atiku made about Jonathan that all it takes is for people to just show Jonathan, and Jonathan will not intervene in any matter that the resolution will favor Atiku, because Atiku was one of those who walked out on him, and he called Jonathan names. He generally tried to make life unbearable for him just because he was well defeated in the presidential primary. So I don't think that the two of them had a really chummy relationship. So how will he now go and be fighting, to, trying to solve a problem for somebody that is not sure is even his friend? So I think that it's like chasing a lost cause. I'm not convinced that this matter will be resolved. It will take a miracle to resolve this matter. And you know, I said before when I returned from Port Harcourt that I don't see this matter being resolved. It's been well over a month now, and things are even getting worse. All kinds of things are happening that we are seeing that pointing to the fact that they may just go into the election without this matter, being resolved.
Oh, Dada, do you share the same sense?
Yes, and some of the utterances that are being made can potentially burn the bridges between these people. I was very uncomfortable when I heard what Governor Otom said. You know, it was very livid, but at some point he started insulting a whole ethnic group. I think he took it too far. If you had a problem with your party candidate, you didn't have to start denigrating or painting a whole ethnic group black. It was something very, very dire. So that thing that is said has dire consequences.
He has apologized.
I know he has apologized, but people will not forget.
No, but we also have to look. Not many Nigerians, not many people have the courage to take back what they've said, to say, look, I'm sorry. Those two words, I'm sorry, is extremely heavy in the mouths of some people. But he has come out to say, look, I'm sorry. Those that are offended by what I said, I'm sorry. And I think
all right, so Wike, if I comes today and says, okay, I'm sorry for calling Tambua a hero.
Who? It's not. They are not asking him to apologize. They are saying leave.
Okay, let's take.
It won't solve the problem. They are saying leave.
I just hope that everybody will swallow their pride.
Let's take Olariwaju from Port Harcourt. Hello, Olariwaju. Good evening, Olariwaju. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, please go ahead.
Here.
All right.
Let's hear you now.
All right, BK. You said this might not end soon. So then I'm asking, what's the best option for Atiku and the PDP as, right now?
I think the worst thing they can do to themselves is cause some of the governors that are left to get angry. Because we must not forget why they even went to see Governor Bala Mohammed in the first place, because he complained that he was being sidelined.
Exactly.
How do you go to a state, somebody is governor, you are appointing people into positions, and he's not aware, and you said he's a member of and he's the governor of the state. That means that you don't want to work with him, you don't like him. And the governor is complaining that already there are some anti-party activities, which means that he sees Atiku and some of his loyalists as people opposed to his re-election. And that's the reason it appears now that he's gravitating towards Atiku's enemies, the G5. So some of the steps, some of the moves that they are making can actually hurt the party further by causing some of the people who are with you to go and join. We can, we can have a way of embracing. Once you are fighting weakest enemy.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
I said it here 2 weeks ago that I won't be surprised if Wike makes Chris Finebone, former APC PRO in Rivers State, the Commissioner for Information. That's what he eventually did. He's now the Commissioner for Information. You could imagine how significant that somebody who was APC spokesman in the States for many years. Now he brought him to his side. And as I anticipated, he made him Commissioner for Information.
All right, Paul, let me quickly have your final take on this.
You see, the destiny of the PDP, to some extent, lies in its hands. It should try and get its act together. People should learn to swallow their pride. People should learn to swallow their pride. People should learn to be more selfless, for the common good. Until they learn to do that, they are just going to doom the party.
All right.
That's the truth.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been a wonderful time on the show. Thank you, BK, for your insights on all of our issues today. Thank you very much. Mr. Paul Dada, thank you so much for coming.
Welcome.
That's all on Journalist Hangouts today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Olajumoke Olatunji. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Black Friday is here, and ShopX TV is proud to bring you a very special offer. We all know the benefits that come from eating a healthy, balanced diet, but sometimes that's not always easy. Until now, ShopX TV is proud to introduce the NutriBullet, the must-have kitchen item of the year.